Hello friends, I am Mrs. Padmaja Tamboli. Welcomes you back in day 2, part 2, basic concepts of function. In part 1, already I explained you how to write function, means what doing by prototyping of function, how you are calling this function, and how to write actual statements in a function. Okay, now we already discussed different methods of calling function also. So call by value and call by reference, these two methods are used for calling the function. That means now you have a clear idea of writing function, calling it at appropriate location. Okay, now in this part I am concentrating on different features of function. First feature is function overloading. It is again one of the important feature of your C++ in your C++ programming. See, function overloading, correct? This feature comes under polymorphism. Now already I told you what do you mean by polymorphism. Polymorphism means many forms. Okay, that means you can give one single name to number of function written for different tasks is considered as function overloading. Is that clear? I have 3 different functions, suppose, with same name, but they are in different forms, correct? That time this property of writing of function is considered as function overloading. Okay, see here, in this is one of the example of function overloading. Here I am declaring 2 integer variable, 2 float variable, 2 character type variable, correct? And I wrote 3 different function. First function is again the name of these 3 functions are same, that is swap. That means these are used for interchanging of data, correct? But now say first function is used to interchange the data of 2 integer variable. The second function is used to interchange the data from 2 float variable, and the third one is used to interchange the data from 2 character type variable. Okay, now see here how I am calling this. Swap, then passing 2 integer parameters, swap passing to float parameter, and the third one swap passing to character type parameters. Okay, now see these are the 3 functions written over here. Void swap integer ix integer iy, correct? You know the method of swapping of 2 values of variable, that is integer temp is equal to ix means what? See, I am declaring one temporary variable to preserve the value of first one. That means suppose if I consider first variable is ix, the value of ix gets temporarily stored in temp, correct? Now I can overwrite the value of this variable. So iy is equal ix is equal to iy. That means value of next variable will be get stored in first one, whose value is already preserved in temp. Now the value of second variable is equal to temp. This method I am following for remaining swap function. Same method I am following. That means here this swap function is used to interchange the values of these 2 float variable. This one is used to interchange the values of 2 character type variable. Okay, that means my function consists of 3 different functions, 3 swap function, but the task wise these are different one. One is interchanging values of integer variable, another is used to interchanging value of float variable, and The third one is used to interchange the value of character type variable. Now see, whenever you are calling with same name. Okay, you are calling it with same name. So when you call the function with swap, at that time compiler may get confused which swap function will be executed. Okay, so to avoid this confusion, there is a restriction. You can write more than one function with same name in a same program, but these functions must be different in their prototyping. Correct? See, our three functions are again different in prototype. In my first swap function, I am passing two integer parameter. In second function, I am passing two float parameter, and in third function, I am passing the two character type parameter. Correct? So whenever I am calling my swap function by passing two integer, the first function swap gets executed. When I am calling my swap function by passing to float, at that time my second swap function gets executed, where I am passing these two float integer values. Okay, and similarly when I call my swap function by passing two character type variable, these two character type variable gets matched over here. Okay, here. So this third function gets executed. Are you clear how the concept overloading, function overloading works? In short, I am repeating, the function overloading comes under polymorphism. It is nothing but many forms. Many forms means what? You can give one single name for number of function which is written for different tasks. Okay, but you can give same name, and to avoid the confusion at the time of calling of function, which function will be gets executed, to avoid this confusion, there is one restriction. Whenever you are writing function under function overloading concept, all these functions must be different in prototyping. Okay, this is about function overloading. Now next important feature added in your C++ related to function, that is inline function. Okay, what do you mean by inline function? What is need of creating inline function? We will discuss one by one. Okay, so see, why we will concentrate why we are using function. We are using function in a program to reduce the length of program. Okay, for example, if you have a function of simple 10 statement for one of the tasks, and you want to repeat this task at 3 times in a program, then one of you may ask me, now ma'am, instead of writing function we can use iteration logic. It is also used for repetition purpose. Okay, see, but basic difference, the iteration logic execute the same commands one after another immediately. Correct? But now I want to use this common 10 statement at different location 3 times in a program. Correct? That means I can write, suppose at fifth statement, I'm writing this 10 statement. Then at the from statement number 15, I am again repeating the same task. Then again from statement number 25, I am repeating the same task. Like this 3-4 times I want to repeat this. Correct? It is not in sequence but at different location in a program. So what I can do, I can take out these common statements separately, wrote in a function, and at which location I need that particular task, I called my function. Okay, this is method to reduce the length of program. Is that clear? But see, whenever you are trying to reduce the length of program, you are indirectly increases your execution speed. Now, how you are increasing the execution speed? See, you can increase the execution speed. To understand that, you must have to concentrate on the concept of context switching. Okay, you know that whenever you are executing a function, you are jumping from your main program towards the function. Is it? So, whenever you are jumping, the context related to main program is shifted from your microprocessor to the temporary storage memory of your computer. We are calling it as a stack memory. What do you mean by context? See, context word is used to data element which are used related to that particular program. So it may be a list of different variable. It may see whenever you are executing commands one after another, the which command you are going to execute, the address of that command will be available in program counter. So indirectly your microprocessor increments the contents from your program counter, and according to that the different commands gets executed. So the contents of program counter, contents of stack pointer, then internal data element related to that particular program is considered as context. And whenever you are jumping from main program to function, at that time this context related to main program gets shifted into temporary memory. We are calling it as a stack, and the context from function gets shifted into the main memory of computer, and the execution of function gets started. After completion of execution of function, when you are returning towards main, again the process becomes vice versa. There is a interchanging of context from processor to memory. Is that clear? And because of this context switching process, you are increasing the execution speed of your program. Now, if you want both benefits, that means the length of program should be minimized, as well as you must have to minimize the execution period also. That time, see, you can write a function, but you can mention that function as inline. So what will happen when you declare function as inline? So whenever you are declaring the function as inline, the code related to that function gets copied at a location from where you are calling it. Okay, so if you are calling your function 3 times, at a calling location, actual code of the function gets written. So if now you know that there are two different files related to one program. One is considered as source file, which we can observe, or it is created by user. So if you observe a source file, you come to know that there is one main function and your declared function. Okay, code of declared function. But at the time of compilation, when compiler wrote your function code at the calling location, it creates only one function or it treated as only a single function. Okay, the code gets replaced by your calling statement. Is that clear? So in exe file it is a single function. In CPP file, that is in source code, you may observe your main program along with your return function. Is that clear? So if you observe your code, you can get all benefits. Your code is simplest one. You can make it simple. You can avoid the length of program. And if you observe as per compiler point of view, again it is a single code. That's why there is no any context switching, no any jumping, and nothing is happen at the time of execution of program. Okay, now for which function, say there is one more concept related to inline function. You can use the inline function term for simple function only, correct? And sometimes your inline request gets failed. What are the points? At what, in which situation your inline request gets failed? Inline request gets failed means your function is treated as a simple function only, and there is a jumping from main program to function will be happen. It increases your execution time. Now in which situation your inline request gets failed? The situation first is if your function is too large. It may consist of if else nested if. It may consist of switch statement. It may consist of iteration logic. Correct? Definitely the inline request gets failed. Second thing, if you are using static data members in your function, that time also your inline request gets failed. Okay? Now next, if you are using any recursion function, the function gets repeated number of times, then it is called as a recursion function. That time also your inline request gets failed. Okay, any doubt? No. So one more point we can discuss. See, already I told you, you can write member function related to class with two different ways. First way is declaration of function inside a class and declaration of function outside of class. Now many times I am asking to my student, how you are deciding? Now I am writing this function inside class, and now I am writing this function into outside the class. See, generally if your function is too simple, too small, then you can treat or write inside the class. Otherwise, you can take decision it should be outside the class. Okay, so generally the function which are written inside the class considered or treated as a inline function. Is it? Now we will go towards next concept, that is static member function. Static member means what? Static data element means, see, before discussing that static element, I want to discuss how the memory gets allocated to different objects. See, if I consider one class with two variables A and B. Okay, so whenever I am considering two variable A and B, and if I create three different objects of that particular class, then memory gets allocated for each and every object separately. That means suppose my O and O1 are O1, O2. These are three objects. Then the memory gets allocated as O dot A, O dot B. Same way O1 dot A, O1 dot B, and same for O2 object also. Correct? But whichever member functions are there, these are written commonly for all objects. Now, if you want to declare one of the data type commonly for all objects, then you can declare that data type as static data type. Okay. Now, how you are declaring the data type as static data type? The keyword static followed by declaration of variable. Now, once you are declaring the data type as static, it has some characteristic. That is, first characteristic is that this variable automatically gets initialized to 0. There is no need of initialization of variable. For other elements, whenever you are declaring variable, it gets initialized with garbage value available in that particular memory location. The second characteristics of static variable, that is, only one copy of it is created for entire class and is shaded by object of that particular class. Okay. The last one, it is visible only within a class, but its lifetime is entire program. Now, the next concept we will go towards static function. Static member function, see, this function has access only for static data elements and static function. Correct? That means for accessing different static element and static function, you can write separate function, and this function is considered as static. Now, how to write static member function? See, the declaration of static member function is same as that of simple function, but with prefix static. See here, this is one of the best example for static variable and static member function. See, in this integer, roll number, character name, these are the parameters or data variables considered to one of the student. My class is student. That means object of this class is nothing but student. Okay. So, here I am considering one more variable, static integer RNO. So, this RNO variable is commonly used for all objects declared related to student class. Okay. Now, void get data and display data, these are the simple member function written related to this class. And I wrote one more function, increment roll number. It is used to increment the value of RNO variable by 1. Okay. So, now this increment roll number is my static. How I am declaring this? See, our prototyping is same. Data type, function name followed by list of parameter. And as I want to declare it as a static, I am giving keyword as static. Okay. Now, see here in this program, I am declaring my S as a array of object. Now, how to declare object? Objects are variable of class. That means data type of object is class name. So, student is my class name. S is array of object of student class. Correct? Now, here there are the reading and writing statement related to this object. Okay. So as I want to execute get data and display data function related to all object, I am considering or executing this get data and display data function in the iteration logic. Correct? As the value of I goes on changing, it is treated as different student. Okay, now see here, whenever you are executing get data function, the statement from get data function gets executed, and these the statements are you are assigning RNO value to roll number of student. Correct? And this RNO value is automatically gets calculated in this static variable. It is automatically gets incremented by 1. Okay, now see here, after get data function, you are calling the display data function. It will automatically display the record of student, and after that you are calling this statics. Now see, I want to concentrate on this student scope resolution increment roll number function. Increment roll number function is your static function. How you are calling it? The class name, scope resolution, and then function name. Okay, so this is about the calling of static function. Whenever you are calling this static function, each and every time it will increments the value of RNO variable, and this incremented value gets automatically assigned to roll number variable of your get data. Roll number variable of each and every object. Okay, this is about the static data and static function. Now there is one more concept, friend function. Now this friend function, from the name only you come to know that the friend, as you are considering this function as friend, means this function is commonly used by the objects of different class. That means it's not necessary that each and every program has only one class. One program may have number of classes, and for this all classes you can write one common function. That time you can treating that function as a friend function. Okay, we will take one example of company software. One company can have different employees having different designation. For example, manager, engineer, supervisor. Then naturally the salary calculation for all these employees are different one. That's why I am creating 3 different classes. One is manager, one is with name engineer, and one is with name supervisor. And each classes have their own salary calculation function, as there is a difference in basic as well as daily allowances and HRA allowances for each and every employee. But the income tax calculation as per government rule of our India is common for all employees. It doesn't depends on designation. Correct? So I can write one common function with name income tax, and it is commonly used for all the classes. Now how to declare function as a friend? See, friend keyword followed by prototype of function. That means friend, here return type, suppose our income tax is in terms of float, then friend float, function name is income tax, and parameter, that means annual income you have to pass in this function. Is that clear? And this function is declared in each and every classes separately, but you are writing your income tax function common to all class. That's why it is outside a class and without any class name and scope resolution. How you are writing normal function? You are writing that particular income tax function outside of the class just like a normal function in your C programming. Okay, thank you student. In next session we will discuss constructor, destructor, polymorphism, inheritance, operator overloading, virtual function. These are actual important concepts from C++. Today we will stop here. Thank you.